Okay, so here we are. We're at the last save point. After my last session, I tweeted like, "Can this party get to the end?" And it was a legitimate question, and I got some good replies via Twitter from someone with the username Ursat's Cats. Who it's interesting because I don't know that I have a prior relationship with that person, but hey, that's cool. So thanks to Ursat's Cats. And I was thinking, I replied like, I never got the Apollo heart, but I did. I just haven't paid attention. But we'll be able to make use of that. Um, I'm still wearing these from the prior fight with Necrophobia. Was there anything else different or anything else I should consider? But I think I can probably go right to the boss. I was thinking I was going to have to leave to get the Apollo harp and come back, but I think maybe I can just make this work, and that it'll be worth doing. I just kind of wish I had a bunch more elixirs, but you know, I'm thinking of kind of cheesing through this. I think I have a method to do it. I kind of wish I had another Mirage Vest, but let's give this a shot and see what happens. We'll come up with another idea if this doesn't work at all. And so the cheesiest thing I found, and it's not from Urset's Cats, but the cheesiest thing I found was you can literally use the Bard's Hide command and wait for this first form of X-Death to utilize all of its MP. Oh man, what a drag. X-Death, you're a knob. Do we have to watch this every time? I mean, I'll fast forward it, but... Let's go save because we can. A nice late point of no return in this game. That was the thing. The first time I remember consciously being aware of the point of no return was in Final Fantasy VII because you can use your save crystal past the point of no return. That's frustrating. I don't like that. I guess Earthbound had an even earlier one, just because the last dungeon was actually kind of big and worthwhile because there was a good weapon for Ness there. Okay, I'm not sure what I'm doing here, but I'll give it a shot. So my plan is to attack. Attacks are the best attack. And hide. And allow my group to be punished for a very long time. Does this first wave actually even use MP? Maybe I should have double checked that. It's not showing any attack names. And so the place where I saw this strategy, might not work at all, I'm realizing, was Enkibot, which is a script someone wrote, hosted on Heroku, that generates a hint file based on your classes in this game. Man, as soon as I reveal, I'm gonna die. But how else am I gonna know that he's out of MP? This would be a funky thing to see in full 3D. Like seeing Zeramus in full 3D, that was pretty crazy, right? Because you don't get a sense of what they were going for in the 2D sprites. I'm just gonna let things happen. See if we live one turn. So even normal attacks. I think I might need to be smarter. Let's reset. Okay, we need to do some damage before we hide. And that's because the first part of X-Death's script is basically just white hole, which sucks. Oh, that's great fun. So we want to do some damage, get that MP draining, maybe get meteor casting. That would be really nice. Then hide. We don't have much that'll block that, unfortunately. And Kryle really is our lead damage dealer by a substantial margin. As long as we're single target here, who cares? It occurs to me that I will need to have Bartz's HP higher to make any use of this. He'll also need to be not singing, so maybe locking him into Hero's Rhyme was a foolish move. Okay, we've got some MP usage, and Bartz is dead again. Well, that kind of works out in a way. Makes a sort of sense. Okay, now we'll just stand here and die. It would be nice if it was things that weren't white hole, because that takes 2 items to cure. So no effect, no effect, no effect, no effect, no effect, no effect. That's a lot of no effect. There was a punk band that was popular locally called No Effects, quite a long time ago. I had one friend who called them Nofix. He thought he was funny. He wasn't. I'm not watching memory or anything. I really have no idea when this guy's MP is drained. I'm sure his MP pool is absurd. So, yeah. Let me tell you my squirrel story. Here's my squirrel story. This is a good story. Okay, the first thing you need to know is my wife and I have very good jobs. We live relatively within our means, but we also have 3 young kids. And with daycare costs and stuff, we don't have a giant amount of disposable income. So while we talk about sometimes getting a pool in our yard, we haven't, and with our young kids we want to entertain them. So we got an inflatable pool. And we've used our inflatable pool a handful of times. Every couple days we pretty much need to empty it out and fill it again. It's kind of annoying. But then yesterday, while barbecue... Was it yesterday? Might have been yesterday. While barbecuing, my wife kind of looked down at the pool, and at this moment, she was outside. She was turning off the barbecue. We were inside starting to eat, and she was turning off the barbecue, and I heard her go like, and my wife doesn't react strongly to most things. So it was pretty concerning. I thought that you know, some flames had jumped up from the barbecue or something terrible had happened to her, and I leapt up. But then it turns out what upset her was there was a dead squirrel in our pool, and he was floating there at the top of the pool, and you could see it from the deck. And I was trying to say, like, let's not draw attention to it for the kids. But then my oldest son, my wife said, he can know, he can see, whatever. Okay, so we had a dead squirrel in our pool. It was one of those things where I was like, okay, I'll deal with the dead squirrel. My wife insisted I wait until after dinner. It's kind of weird just, you know, eating when there's a dead squirrel in your pool. I guess it depends on how you feel about squirrels. Some people really don't like squirrels. Some people like the idea of reckless squirrel death, and they're happy about, you know, squirrels being hit by a car. It's another story there. I've never hit a squirrel with a car. But I like animals. We live in total suburban area, and seeing animals is still kind of exciting. Squirrels not so much, but I get excited when I see rabbits in the area. So, you know, I'm a friend of rodents. We used to have gerbils. I don't mind rodents. I don't like that a squirrel died in my pool, is the point. Where was it going with this? Okay, so we come up with a plan. My cats are fighting. That's stupid. Speaking of friend of rodents. They're fighting like crazy. Huh. Okay. Sorry. Probably gonna get a nag momentarily. Everyone else in my family has gone to sleep, of course, so... Anyway. Squirrel. Come up with a plan. I was thinking about it all while I was eating dinner, right? Because we were barbecuing, and yeah. So I had like a garbage bag, and then I tried very hard to find a way to very elegantly scoop up this dead squirrel floating in a shallow pool without touching dead squirrel, and I mostly succeeded, but it took a few tries. As soon as I stepped out there, by the way, there was a bunny right beside the pool, and he didn't move until I was within a couple feet, and it was just funny seeing a bunny there right when I went out to get the dead squirrel out of the pool. My wife said, where are you going to get rid of the squirrel? We don't want to... We have bi-weekly garbage pickup. We don't want to hang on to a dead squirrel for a week. It was literally garbage day, so it was going to be a week. So she said, we live really close to like a community parkette that's just a walk through to a major road, and she said, why don't you go down there and drop it off? And so I had the bag, and I slipped on some flip-flops so I wouldn't ruin good shoes, and walked down there, and it was really weird. I walked into the parkette, and directly opposite me at the parkette was this young girl walking a pit bull, and she doesn't know what I'm carrying in this plastic bag full of something dark. But she freezes with the pit bull and holds the leash, and that makes me think she knows that pit bull isn't good around people, and I'm thinking, let alone a person carrying a dead animal. This wouldn't go well. And then I'm looking around the parkette anyway in my couple seconds standing there. They've moved the garbage cans away from the stupid parkette, so there's nowhere to throw out a dead squirrel. there's no dead squirrel garbage. Normally parks have dead squirrel garbage. Not this time. So that was really unfortunate. I wonder if this guy's MP is drained yet. This is fun, right? This is fun. This does actually drain his MP, right? I'd be pretty stupid if it didn't. I'd hate to screw this up, so I'm going to just keep talking. I'm probably going to screw it up anyway, but I'll keep talking. You can listen to me. I don't know what you're here for, other than listening to me, so we'll do that. So I'm like, we're still not keeping a squirrel in our house for a week. I guess there are a couple of things I could have done. I could have put it in the freezer. I don't want a dead squirrel in my freezer for a week. Is that weird? I told you I got a scooter for my birthday, and because I'm in suburbia, I am like kind of a city block length away from a park. So I tell my wife, okay, there's no garbage in the parkette, so I'm going to get on my scooter with my flip-flops, and I'm going to drive my dead squirrel in a bag to the park and put it in the garbage can there. It's picked up regularly. Okay, so I decide that's what I'm going to do. It's fun, you know, and I've only ridden my scooter with my kids even really once, and so this was my chance to kind of open it up, and I was going really far, and I was really impressed. But then halfway to the park, which again is not that far away, the bag punctures. And what's weird is I expected like squirrel claws to come through. Squirrel's got some claws. No, it was like a whole frickin' squirrel tail hanging out the bottom of that bag, and then all the squirrel soup starts leaking out of the bag on my legs, on my feet, on my, thankfully, flip-flops, on my scooter, but I'm not too worried about that, I guess. It was just on the plank. So, yeah, squirrel juice. And it went all over the road as I was, like, crossing the road, because that was the bumpy part, I guess. And I'm just thinking, like these people are going to see water on the road later, and they're not going to realize that it is dead squirrel juice. Yeah. There were a couple kids at the park, but not many. I didn't look too weird dropping a random bag in the garbage and then immediately leaving. As a grown man. But seeing a grown man on a scooter here is a bit irregular too, especially without kids, especially when I'm kind of a bigger guy. It probably looked at least a little weird, but hopefully no one was thinking about it as much as I was, I'm sure. Like I was thinking about the state of things quite a bit. Drop my squirrel off in the garbage. Scoot home. My wife says, "Thanks for being so manly." I think, what the hell is so manly about that? This is not a typical man job, but whatever. Then I have to clean the pool. There was a bit of a set of antics there. I had to drain it, so I had to reach into the dead squirrel water, pull the plug, get it draining. The plug was at kind of the wrong end because our backyard has a grate. It was complicated. Waited a long time. While I was in my backyard, just kind of pacing back and forth, moving a couple things around, I saw something moving out of the corner of my eye, and I thought, we have lots of small birds. We have a bird feeder. Maybe it's a small bird, but it was something different. And I looked down where there's this coiled hose that we're going to discard, actually. It was one of those garden watering hoses, the ones that have like the perforations or whatever. And there was a tiny like field mouse in it, and it was just funny seeing that. I don't normally see that around my house. It's the first time seeing a mouse on my property. I watched him for a bit. I took a little video to show the kids that, hey, there's a little mouse walking around our backyard. He's cute. And I just thought it was funny, you know? We had a squirrel drown, and then we had a bunny in the yard, and then I come back and see a mouse for literally the first time. And I just thought it was kind of nature's way of telling me, Kyle, despite this, you are still an ally of rodent kind. I liked that. So then I spent a bunch of time cleaning the pool. I got really muddy because it was all resting on mud and it had drained. The backyard was saturated with gross dead grass. And at one point I tried to flip the pool over with a bit of water in it, and I couldn't do it because of the weight of the water in the bottom of the pool. I was wearing flip-flops, as I described, and kind of the pool flipped back on me and my shoes came off as it pushed me backwards, and so I lost my flip-flops under the pool. Drained it more with a bucket, eventually got my shoes back. It was all around a good time. Yeah, so I'm an ally of rodent kind. I scooped a dead squirrel out, and our gerbils died more than a year ago. They're still in the freezer awaiting a proper gerbil burial. I'm maybe not the best ally of rodent kind, but try to do my part. Should I see how X-Death is doing here? This is going to be stupid. When I bring Bart's back and he instantly dies, I'm going to feel like a nincompoop. The reason I'm doing this, by the way, I'll tell you now. I'm running out his MP to make him easier and very survivable, because my intent is, while I'm fighting this phase of X-Death, I'm going to sing. Not, like, on stream, but I'm going to use the sing command. Oh man, I'm glad that didn't work. That could have been terrible. That could have just ended it instantly there. But if he's using holy and such, that should just go away. Especially if I can get a golem out there. It might still be active, we'll see. Okay, it is still active. How funny. This could have just been a huge waste of time. Well, I told you my squirrel story, by the way. If he's still got magic points, then that was all for naught. Why did I do that? I'm gonna double check the golem because he just hit me pretty hard there. Yeah, that was smart, see? In a weird sort of way, like calling myself smart after I've had the things happen during my stream that I have so far. That's a bit of a stretch. Whatever. Oh, he's still got MP. Yuck. How am I gonna survive this? At least it's single target. If everything's single target, who even cares, right? I'll just start my Swift song. We'll get our speed up and we'll be overpowering him in no time, right? Is it considered fair to be doing any form of memory watching? Because it seems like it shouldn't be. I would really have liked that to hit cryo. If he was throwing meteors out there right now, I'd be doomed. Well, I mean, I guess cryo's already doomed, but you know what I mean. This is going to use a lot of items. This might be a huge mistake. You know, if I start raising my level, I'll be a little more status immune. Well, that's a bit of a drag. Nope, still active. This is me trying to get the levels up. What I don't want to do is damage X Death, because if he enters a new attack phase, he can gain Meteor, and Meteor will cause death for my party, not him. Well, maybe for him, but he's got another phase. And so what I'm trying to do is boost myself to an absurd extent here and now. That'd be so cool if that hit Rana. Oh man. No such luck. And I kind of have to keep people alive. Wish I had more Phoenix Downs. Once I get to 20 or so, this is going to feel kind of crappy. But I am noticing that counter goes awfully fast now. That's the... whatever the speed song is called, helping me out. I don't want to use Phoenix even. I was thinking that'd be a good way to save some Phoenix Downs, but that also does damage to X Death. Oh man. That means Golem was off. Whoopsie. Oh, that doesn't matter. Okay. Ooh, that might matter. If he casts Flare or something. That was me hitting call instead of summon by accident, by the way. If that were not clear. Might be time to start getting our HP up. The bard will stop singing when he hits the max, right? I hope. This is some pretty stupid X-Death strategy I'm doing here, if you want to call it that. You'd be playing a bit fast and loose with at least one definition. Oh. In a way, that's reassuring. It means I wasted some time, for one thing. Oh dear. I like the idea of having this utterly maxed out speed if I could. I mean, 255 seems is some reasonable form of maxed out. It's pretty darn high right now, though, isn't it? I can't possibly guess. There are probably people out there who can figure out their speed by observing the game, huh? Not me. I have not yet developed that skill. Drag. That was me kind of partly paying attention for a second, which probably isn't a good idea at this juncture. Do I need to do anything besides Swift Song and the one that makes the people fall down? I wish that didn't happen to Ferris, who has so much HP that Ferris could actually survive a couple attacks, you know? Let me pause here. I want to read my own Twitter history and see those tips from my good friend Ursat's Cats. Okay, so Almagest part is lower right. Okay. That's what we need to do. Almagest is going to be the only... I don't want to say something stupid. I don't want to say something that's utterly wrong, because I might. But the only big concern I have in that battle. There's other things that can go wrong, but... Nothing like that seems to be targeting Ferris, which I guess is okay. Just as well. That was funny to see. That was a mixture of back row and defend, causing an attack to actually do kind of lame damage. Wow, look at their speed. It's fast. I don't know if I need more speed. Do I? Look how full their bar is as soon as they do something. That's pretty sweet. Okay, I think I might need Bartz to die. Can you take care of that for me? Next death. He can! Yay! Like, okay, mana, sinew. I think hero does everything we need here. We gotta do the lower right and then the arch of the back is what I've confirmed there. Better safe than sorry. It only costs 9 MP. Yeah. I don't know the actual amount. I think it's twice the caster's HP. Okay, next time Bartz dies, we're going for it. We're going to be in a good position to start winning. Whitehole is now missing because our levels are high relative to his. Oh, that's different. And we're just around 20 Phoenix downs for the last part. I'm sure that's fine. I'll start getting some HP up just in case. Just in case some of these people don't die. It seems stupid to have to kill Bartz myself. I don't think I'm going to do it. Hope that Ferris doesn't get doomed again. Maybe we should just punch Bartz out. Aw, dang. Didn't I just do that again? No, I must have. If I attack myself, does Golem stop it? Whoa. Whoa. Whoa, we must have super high levels for that to happen. Note to self, do not get confused in the last part of the battle. Okay, one more thing we want to do before we make this an all-out offensive. Actually, I'm going to start making it an all-out offensive first. Wow. Okay. We want Mighty March on, but we also want Carbuncle on, because we want to start preventing those flares and holies. Funny that this Great Evil uses this holy. What does holy even mean to you people? Wow, that's useful. This is going to be a stupid battle. I'm excited for this. I've never done this, if that wasn't clear. This was a very long battle. Oh, I sure hope I don't screw it up. Ooh, Lower right is Almagest, vulnerable to Petrify. Didn't work. Wow, we're fast. This is stupid. We are talking lower right, right? Oh, it's working. It's lagging. Okay, we need to reapply Golem. We've got Reflect. We're going to reapply Golem. The back one. No, maybe we can try and kill them close together. There's 2 parts left. Okay. Whoa. This should probably do really high damage. That was really high damage as advertised. Now it goes kind of crazy when there's 1 part left. It uses Enrage, which gives it a bunch of extra turns or something. What I'm trying to do is balance my offense between the front and back so that when it enrages, if it enrages, it's very nearly dead. This is going to be trivial, and that's kind of awesome. But, you know, I took steps to make it trivial. It's not some grand surprise. Took out the 2 hardest parts for sure. Oh, look at that. You iced yourself, yo. That was a strong ice attack. Sound went away. on that particular attack. I'm hitting the back one more because he's back row. He's taking half damage from the physicals. I have a feeling it's going to die first, but we'll see. Because this guy's probably... Ooh, vacuum wave, nasty. I think our healing ticks have gotten crazy, and that's because of our boosted levels. And so I think we're actually at full hit points against the last boss here. It doesn't want to play my harp music anymore. Will Odin work here, or is it just going to cast Gungnir? Gungnir. Well, it's still going to be good. Except for the animation. The animation is still lame. There we go. That is that. That was... So I over-prepared. I got to tell you my whole squirrel story. And that went really well. I'm happy with that. I wonder if there's a way to... I know if I got to 999, I could probably do Omega Henshin Ryu. 999. Level 99. Oh, I need to take my screenshot. Shit. Where's my screenshot at? Oh, dang. I'll catch it out of my video, I guess, because, whoops. Feel kind of stupid not catching my own victory. Oh well. I don't think my keyboard even has a quick screenshot button. I guess the emulator does. I don't want to do it here. I want to show the thing crumbling, right? That was a neat fight. I mean, I made it as foolproof as possible. Should I feel good about that or bad about that? Anyone watching, how do you feel? Those couple notes that just played there sound a lot like Final Fantasy IV. It's the music from like Ruined Dam Cyan. Should we watch the whole ending or fast forward it until those cute parts where they show the giant sprites? Hope, bless the earth. Do it. In these new interfaces, where do you actually change the name of your stream? I don't know. It's kind of weird because it's the ending. There's no pressure to do anything anymore, but I still kind of feel like I should fast forward it. That in the PlayStation translation was quest, and I thought that was actually kind of neat that what drove Bart's was essentially journeys. I understand there was some kind of sequel anime to this game that I don't really know anything about. It would be kind of neat seeing something where you have to protect the fort crystals and their new destinations. Something goes awry again. They should have taken the plot of the advanced expansion crap, Enuo and all that, I made it more of a game add-on like they did with Final Fantasy II with the Soul of Chaos thing. Wait, Soul of Chaos? The thing where there was like the epilogue game. I guess that would have been more work. Square Enix does tend to avoid work when they're porting things. Does that mean you all lost your jobs? You're unemployed? Technically our challenge has failed. I know it's not. I'm reaching for things to say at this point. So that wasn't too hard, getting Final Fantasy V in there. In August. And you know what, my my one on my Game Boy Advance, I've been kind of talking about. I started that one before this one. Been playing it kind of gradually, and it was good when I was on vacation a lot at the start of the summer. I mean, I'm still on vacation, but I'm not away on vacation. There's less reason to want to play on my Game Boy. I think I will now, because I want to make sure I get it done in August. But, yeah. It's been interesting. I am at... Where am I at? I'm at one of the save points in the void. I haven't gotten too far in yet. I ended up running at the trap chest and tool, which I'm never going to open again, by the way. It's just too valuable for charging up the chicken knife. And got finally my dancers with the chicken knife basically always do 999 when sword dance procs. And so they're equipped with ribbon, rainbow dress, Hermes shoes, and whipping out 999s 50% of the time, which is, you know, could stand to be better, but it's not that bad. Was that in the Wind Shrine or the Island Shrine? The Island Shrine. No, that fight was a good dream. You listened to a bard sing for like half an hour. You became incredibly powerful and stomped on the root of all evil. Like the leaves of all evil, I guess, not the root. He was a tree. He grew from the evil. Exdeath has a neat villainous origin. That's something that could have been explored a little more if they wanted to strengthen the narrative of this game. They chose not to. It was reasonable. They could have put a little more effort into that, I think. So, I said Bart's the bard. He stands around and sometimes sings. He did sing. He did a good job with that. The Apollo heart arguably ended up being useful. I think it was useful for taking out that back arch. I avoided all the Grand Crosses and all the Almagests, so that's pretty sweet, right? Kryle uses weapons to inflict harms on enemies. Really just one. Really just the chicken knife. Lena the Blaster with occasional support. She indeed did both of those things. Lots of support, actually. Golem and Carbuncle were both key in those couple battles. Aw, cute. Ferris stands around and has hit points. Ferris didn't contribute much in the end. She got good damage after the massive Super Saiyan boost there. But the plan was to keep her hit points reasonably high so that if an Almagest came through, she would live. Didn't end up being necessary, which is fantastic, I guess. Not a bad team. They were all fun except the monk. There was something fun about each of them except the monk. And everyone says that. Monk is, when you do job fair, it's a $1 class, right? It's a downgrade. If I were to do other classes that you can triple crown between Final Fantasy 3, 5, and Tactics, what else is there that I haven't touched yet? There's 3, 5, and there's no Time Mage in 3. There's Dragoon in all 3. We're getting a little lean. There's no Red Mage in Tactics. There's no Blue Mage in 3 or Tactics, which is kind of a shame. What else would we want here? I'm kind of half paying attention, a little tired, looking at the ending, and then thinking about those classes from the various games. I like the idea of seeing how they play across the different games. I don't know that it does anything for anyone else. And last year, you know, I used hacks to do a couple of them. Well, sorta. I did the Final Fantasy VI one. I don't think I'm going to do that again. What would a bard be in Final Fantasy VI? I don't even know. Probably just give it a pray command and call it Healing Song or something. There's not really any singing in Final Fantasy VI. There's, you know, Wind Song and Desert Aria and those things, but those are technically dances, so. I don't want to mess around with 6. Maybe 4, not 2. 1 is so fun and easy to hack. The tools are so good. SLJ's new Hackster thing is pretty sweet. I could make a little FF1 hack where you could play as this party. I don't know what it would do for anyone, but Final Fantasy 1 is so quick and fun to play that who even cares? I could find a way. I might do that. I don't know. But I guess the next thing for my stream is I want to finish that FFT playthrough. And so that's what I'll be doing henceforth. Not like now. I'm not going to start it now, but sometime soon. Maybe in the next couple of days. My wife told me that tomorrow and Friday, and Wednesday and Friday next week, are my free time days. She says, if you want to make plans with friends, those are the days to do it. And I said, my friends are all busy. And I haven't contacted anyone about, say, tomorrow. I'm not going to come up with anything, so maybe I'll play games. Now, that said, I might not stream, because I want to keep playing a couple things I got on my Switch. Not exclusives, mind you, but I Am Setsuna I'd like to play more of. Cosmic Star Heroine just launched on Switch, and that's preloaded for me. Yeah. There's a couple other things I'd like to spend some time with, for sure. And I was also thinking recently about my D&D campaign. I discussed that a little bit throughout this run. And, like, my players were so disinterested, we had so many technical problems. I don't want to say they don't appreciate the time I put into the planning, because I think maybe they do. I also think I might be a little bad at it. It legitimately might be a bad fit. And I don't want to make them feel bad because I'm bad at it and they're trying whatever it is. But I wonder if just writing out the end of our campaign in RPG Maker or something might be the better thing to do. I don't know what that would be like. I don't have any RPG Maker experience, really. I've played around with a lot of systems and occasionally graphics. Graphics is not my strong suit. Make an Earthbound hack. That's what it should be, an Earthbound hack. What game would be the easiest to hack? To make, like, I want to make an RPG scenario using another game's engine. What is the easiest game to hack that does most of the things you would want to do? I don't know. I talk about how fun it is to hack Final Fantasy 1 and how quick it goes. But, you know, you can't make... I can't represent the things I want to in that, I don't think. I would need a pretty big dungeon for one thing. The end of the campaign is basically happening in a 3-story building that's fairly large, got some square footage going on. So, NES games have a lot of limitations. I don't think we could do that. Yeah, suddenly you guys are all tied to your elements. That exactly hasn't really been mentioned throughout. Why Ferris isn't water, I'm still not really sure about that. Neil stand there with one hand up facing the camera. Let's go. Now everyone spin 3 times quickly and walk forward. Where'd they get 3 grown-up chocobos? We've only seen 2 grown-up chocobos the entire game. The way the Mode 7 bumps in like that is a little odd. I'm not actually sure if it does that on the real hardware. I think it does. It's a GBA thing. Probably looks better on Super Nintendo. Just like Final Fantasy VI and Chrono Trigger, the land you see on the ground in the ending does not resemble any part of the world. And indeed, you have to accept that world maps are at certain scales, but it's still hard to make that separation for me. I don't know. Maybe I lack imagination. Maybe that's why I'm not a very good DM. Those are pretty beautiful sideways chocobo sprites. It's kind of funny that they don't use them in the game in any way. Centauro Hota, I'm not sure about you, man. I thought the spell graphics were among the worst. Like, I don't have much to compare them to. I got Final Fantasy 4, 5, 6, and I guess Mystic Quest. They're the worst in this one. The spells look better in 4 than in 5. They look far better in 6 than in 4 and 5. And Mystic Quest kind of bounces between the level of 4 and the level of 6. They're fairly good. There aren't many of them, though. There's those funny snowmen when you cast Blizzard. I like those. You know what game had super beautiful spell animations with Secret of Mana? Those stand up well. Let alone Chrono Trigger. Yeah, I'm pretty excited for Cosmic Star Heroine. There's so many people, there's reviewers and casual folk out there who are saying, what a beautiful blend of Phantasy Star 4 and Chrono Trigger. And that's just so cool to me. I'm a bit of a, like, Phantasy Star 4 is legitimately my favorite game. And I recognize that Chrono Trigger is a pretty monumental game that I also love. A thing I have with Chrono Trigger, I've probably said it on stream before, is I just remember the way it kind of blew my mind in the time before you would, you know, stream games, read the guides before, whatever it is. You could avoid the spoilers. And there would be the first time you saw Zeal, and it was such a surprise in the context of the game, and it was amazing. And you were just like, what am I even seeing? And then you're kind of piecing it together, and that feeling of observing... I shouldn't be saying this because I'm spoiling things. Don't listen to me or what I just said if you haven't played Chrono Trigger. Instead, go and play Chrono Trigger for the first time. Don't look it up. You gotta actually play it. Because what I look forward to is now that my kids are into games, my oldest son saw me playing Final Fantasy V and he was interested right at the beginning. And then I think now he wants to play Final Fantasy V. I'm excited for him to play Chrono Trigger. He'll probably he's a good reader, but you know, he'll need to work on his reading a little bit, I think, to just appreciate the narrative, I suppose. Not much. When he's 8, I'd love to play Chrono Trigger with him. And I'm going to relish it. I really am. Anyway, love Phantasy Star 4, love Chrono Trigger. And when people brag about the things Chrono Trigger did for the genre, I like to pick on how many of those Phantasy Star 4 did first. It had great graphics, great music. Maybe this is a good time to take my screen capture. I wish I knew how to do that. Does this wait for me? This doesn't wait for me, does it? No, the reason this is waiting so long is because normally you would have like 50 abilities learned, and I didn't. I like this, by the way, this character review thing. I like the blown up sprites. I think it's cool to see. I like the backgrounds they used, and that owes a little bit to the GBA remake of this is that port is a high quality port. Ferris's HP is displaying as really high, but she's got that HP plus 30% ability on. So, although it looks like it's like way higher than everyone else, it's higher. It's not absurd. How does it determine what ability it shows them using here? What's it going to show Bart's doing? He's using a song. I was kind of wondering, like, is it the last thing they use, or they're most frequently used? That would be him using Romeo's Ballad then, wouldn't it? Or is it random? I'd like to know more. He doesn't match his little chibi sprite artwork especially well, does he? We love him anyway. It's cool. So was I over-leveled? I don't know, I really broke that last fight. It's pretty hard to say. Oh, they look all mangled at that particular level of zoom. Ooh, big swirling letters. That's what I came for. This is why we kill the X-Death. This is the big swirling letters. Okay, game over. That was cool. Are we interested in seeing me try to do Shinryu and Omega? I didn't love the Steam version last year, and so I wasn't tempted to do it, but this time I kind of am. But I think I'd want to grind a whole bunch, and I wouldn't do that on a stream. I mean, I ground little bits or inconvenient bits on the stream, but if I did that, that'd probably be cool, right? I would enjoy being Shinryu and Omega. Get a Ragnarok I can never use. I'll think about it. Anyway, this run is done, and that's wonderful, right? I'll tweet my victory picture presently. Haven't had a lot of viewers, a little bit at the beginning, but, you know, this is on YouTube. If you're watching it at any point, thanks for joining me. Goodbye!